Welcome back. If you still have some holiday baking to do, we've got an idea for you this morning. But the best part of this one is that it requires no baking at all. My favorite. Here's this week's Brittany's Bites.
It's that time of year where we're all baking those holiday cookies. We're doing this sort of cookie giveaways and exchanges, right? Well, here's another idea for you. It actually happens to be National Bake Cookies Day. However, I'm gonna do a twist on it. I'm gonna make a no-bake cookie. I made a baked cookie a couple of weeks ago, so I thought, let's go with one of the easiest cookies I've ever made. You just stir things up, roll them into balls. You don't even have to put them in the oven. And they still have a big payoff, I promise you. Really interesting flavors too. So you probably have heard of a peanut butter blossom, right? Well, we are making a cookie butter blossom. So I've got a pan heating up here. This is cookie butter. You may have seen it in your store. Of course, Trader Joe's has a very famous version. Those Biscoff cookies that you get sometimes on airplanes, this is cookie butter. If you haven't tried it before, maybe you don't want to because you're always gonna want to eat it after that just by the spoonful. So maybe avoid it, but actually maybe try it, especially in these cookies. So to get started, you only need a few ingredients as well. We're gonna do a half a cup of corn syrup, light corn syrup, right into the pan, if I can get out. Ooh, I have it quite hot. It's only supposed to be on low here. So I'm gonna pull this actually off for a moment while I get the other one in. I had this heating up while I was sort of finishing up a few things, so it's quite hot. But we want to keep this on low because we just want to melt things together. So we've got the corn syrup. Next thing that goes in is the cookie butter. I measured out about a cup. You know, you kind of eyeball it a little bit. This is not an exact recipe because we're not baking, right? And I did go ahead and spray this cup with some cooking spray so that maybe it would come out a little easier, and it did. So I'm just gonna get that in there, kind of put this back on the heat source now. So I'm gonna stir this up, and you wanna, again, have it on low heat just until this gets combined. It's gonna be pretty thick. I feel like every time I make this, I go, oh, did I get the measurements wrong? Because you think, how in the world am I gonna stir in this cereal? It'll work. Trust me. So I'm just gonna give this a little bit of time to slowly come together. And once it does, immediately take it off the heat, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, this has pretty much come together now, so I'm gonna turn this off. And then we're gonna stir in the cereal. So just a reminder, half a cup of corn syrup, and then 1 cup of the cookie butter. It smells so good right now, let me tell you. I measured out into this bowl 3 cups of the crispy rice cereal. I'm gonna pour this in. I feel like this is the hardest part. You feel like you're gonna stir and stir and it's not gonna come together. It will. So just stir it all together, get it combined, do it while it's warm, and then we're on to our final step. It really is that easy. So if you're making a bunch of cookies for the holidays and you wanna give yourself a little break and not roll them out, do the cutouts, do the icing, this is a good alternative. It finally kind of came together. It looks a little bit like Rice Krispie treats, right? That's kind of the consistency, but a little tougher. Now the key is you want to let it cool a little bit, basically cool enough to touch so that you can roll them into balls. I burn my fingers all the time trying to do this. You can't let them cool completely. You want to get them just cool enough where you can make them into balls, and then we'll add on our next step. I think the cookies are cool enough to touch now, so we can finish them off. I'm just going to take a spoon and spoon out a little bit that we're gonna roll into a ball here. And I like to make them pretty small so that I can get more out of the batch, right? Maybe a little bit more than that though. But you do whatever you like. You can see they just mold together so nicely. And you can, I just have a little silicone pad here. You can do wax paper, parchment paper, whatever. Frankly, the hardest part of these cookies is peeling off the wrappers from the chocolate kisses. So I did that ahead of time. And then you're just gonna take one, and you wanna do it obviously while they're still malleable, and push it right down in so that it'll stick in there. There you go, let's do one more. Again, just scoop it out, roll it up, place it here, and then put your kiss right in the middle. How cute are they? That's how easy they are, and they taste wonderful. So give yourself a new cookie in your arsenal, right? These are cookie butter blossoms. Cheers.